President Muhammadu Buhari has informed the National Assembly that 2019 general election will cost 242.4 billion naira. This was contained in President Buhari's letters to the Senate, which was read on the floor of the Red Chamber by the Senate President Bukola Saraki. The President informed the Senate that implementing a budget of 9.12 trillion naira for 2018 will be extremely challenging and therefore does not consider it expedient to increase the 2018 budget to accommodate the funds needed for 2019 general election.
You also recall that when I signed the 2018 Appropriation Act, I indicated the need to request the reinstatement of certain cuts made to certain critical projects provided in the original executive bill. I am therefore submitting for your consideration the reinstatement of the most critical of such cuts, totaling 67,742,216,150,000, which are summarized in page 1. The total amount required to be provided for in the 2018 budget for the 2019 general election and to restore the identified critical projects to the amount earlier proposed is therefore 228,854,008,215 naira. Implementing a budget of 9.12 trillion for 2018 will be extremely challenging, and therefore I do not consider it expedient to propose a further increase to the size of the 2018 expenditure framework to fund these very important and critical expenditure items. Accordingly, I invite the distinguished Senate to consider, in the national interest, relocating some of the funds appropriated for the new projects which were inserted into the 2018 budget proposal, totaling 578,319,951,904 naira, to cover the sum of 228,854,008,205 naira required as noted above. A schedule setting out a comprehensive list of these inserted projects is attached to this letter for ease of your consideration. Further to the above, kindly find attached the supplementary budget amendment proposal for your consideration. While hoping that this request will receive the expeditious consideration of the distinguished Senate, please accept, Mr. Senate President, the assurances of my highest consideration.
Buhari also asked the National Assembly to transfer the fund appropriated for the new project which are inserted in 2018 budget to cover the sum of 228.8 billion naira for the election. He also sent a supplementary budget after raising concern about some of the changes made by the lawmaker in 2018 budget. As preparation for 2019 presidential election got underway, former Vice President and PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has called on the people of northeastern part of the country to have a common front in the run-up to 2019 presidential election. Atiku made the call in Gombe while on a courtesy visit to Gombe State Governor Ibrahim Dankwabo.
Your Excellency, here we are again at a very, very crucial moment in the history of our democracy, party politics, and also the interests of our people. Like when I addressed the party apparatus this morning, what I told them was the need for a united front from this zone or sub-region as far as the issue of the leadership of this country is concerned. I want to assure you of my readiness and my total commitment to ensure that we as a zone also benefit from this zoning, of the leadership of this country to the northern part.
While responding to the former vice president, the governor expressed hope that in the end, the campaign victory become the victory for the PDP, the Northeast, and Nigeria at large.
So I want to welcome you, sir, and I want to wish the campaign train success. And I want to encourage you to continue to carry the banner of the Northeast so that at the end of the day, victory is for our party, the PDP, and victory will be for the Northeast, inshallah. You are welcome.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration has proposed an expenditure framework of 271.532 billion naira for the 2018 fiscal year. The FCT Minister Malam Mohammed Musa Bello, who made this disclosure in a budget session with the Senate Committee on FCT, said the figure showed an increase of 49.171 billion naira over the appropriation for 2017, which stood at 222.360 billion naira. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary, Cosmos Uzodinma, the minister during his presentation gave a breakdown of the sectorial allocation, which showed priority being given to capital expenditure at the cost of 154.232 billion naira, representing 56.8% of the estimate. Overhead costs came second with 61 billion naira, or 22.5%, while personnel was estimated to cost 56 billion naira, representing 20.68% of the total. The increase Bello indicated is based on the expected higher revenue generation by the FCT in view of the takeoff of the FCT Internal Revenue Service and expected increased funds from the Federation account. The minister revealed that the administration will pay important attention to the completion of ongoing infrastructural projects to make the city more livable. Consequently, 70 billion naira has been earmarked for this purpose.
Coordinator Abuja International Housing Show, Barrister Festus Adebayo, has called on federal government to dedicate some percentages of the nation's annual budget to build houses for the less privileged Nigerians as part of effort to reduce housing deficit in the country. Barrister Festus disclosed this to Ben Television in Abuja at the 12th Abuja International Housing Show, where stakeholders in the housing sector gathered to discuss a way forward to the growth of housing in Nigeria. He said a lot needs to be amended in the constitution, which he maintained that it will help the nation grow and provide houses to the poor.
That the federal government of Nigeria should do something feasible that can help civil servants to hold their own property. It is not a good way for somebody who has worked for 25 years cannot hold a property. And what is affecting our mortgage system is that there are a lot of laws that need to be worked on. And some of those laws are pending in the National Assembly. We need the National Assembly of Federal Government of Nigeria to look into the issue of foreclosure law. We need them to look into the review of Land Use Act. We need them to look into the issue of Mortgage Bank Act. We also need them to look into the issue of ensuring that all necessary organizations are complying to contributions to national housing.
He spoke on the benefit of bringing housing experts to discuss the way forward of solving housing problems in the country.
Abuja International Housing Show is a platform where stakeholders in the housing and construction industry meet every year. That is where they exchange ideas, interact, and also provide solutions to housing problems, not only in Nigeria, but internationally.
Speakers at the event said government at all levels must show commitment in the development of housing sector in Nigeria.
The team has been able to tackle a myriad of problems that's being faced by the industry. One of things that has been achieved is the birth of the Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Company. And that's just one aspect of the project. The project has so many other, it has about 3 or 4 components. That was the first component of the project. The Mortgage Guarantee Company is also another component of the project.
If you go and they all go to the mortgage banks with the excitement, and they get there and the mortgage banks tell them, guys, welcome, but we don't have an underwriting standard to evaluate your income. That becomes an issue, and that is why we have to slow down. We also realize that if you go to the north in particular, you go there and the people there, if you talk about mortgage with interest, it will not resonate with them because it is against their faith.
So this is actually a good opportunity. I feel everybody, both locally and in diaspora, should be able to take advantage of. And Urban should try to stretch out its tentacles to reach out for Nigerians outside the country, providing them this solution and also advice on how to own house here with a rental value for those who don't want to stay in it. So this way we're trying to be all-inclusive in our housing solutions.
Well, there's a lot of investment coming already from Nigeria, and we are here to provide independent services for investors from Nigeria in Dubai real estate.
The theme of this year's show is driving growth and sustainability in Nigerian housing and mortgage markets, improving structures and policies for impact. In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.
The Nigerian Senate has confirmed former Inspector General Police Muslim Smith as the chairman of Police Service Commission (PSC). The upper chamber also confirmed Clara Ogunbiyi and former Assistant Inspector General Police Lawa Bawa as full-time commissioners of the PSC, while 4 other members of the commission were also confirmed. The Senate approved the confirmation after considering the report of the Senate Committee on Police Affairs on confirmation of the nominee presented by Senator Abu Ibrahim during the plenary.
Now the committee sat and all the senators from Lagos attended the meeting and they gave full support to the IG, retired IGP. And on page 3, his CV has been analyzed, and the posts he held were mentioned. And the committee, after consideration, after almost 2 hours of gruesome questionings, the committee came to the conclusion that he is very, very suitable for appointment as the chairman of the Police Service Commission, and so recommended.
The lawmakers commended the chairman and the members of the commission on their confirmation of the appointment.
When we are facing numerous security challenges, Mr. President, I want to take this opportunity to urge this new set of the Police Service Commission to reward dedication and commitment by our police. Whoever excels and does patriotic actions should be rewarded. Promotions should be as free as possible to encourage our police. And many of them are doing very well, but they need to have motivation.
I want to implore the Senate President and my colleagues that we shouldn't waste too much time on passing this motion, or let me say the report of the commission, of the committee, because the police reform that we've been agitating for, if we go by the composition of this committee, of this commission, definitely we will witness better management of our police force by way of providing welfare, equipment, and other necessities to make their job better. On this note, I want to add to those who have supported this
the recommendations of this committee and urge this Senate to pass the approval of the chairman and other committees as members of the Police Service Commission. I so support.
Senate President Bukola Saraki urged the new chairman and the members of the Police Service Commission to encourage and motivate police officers in a bid to position them for better protection of lives and property.
Distinguished colleagues, on behalf of all of us, let us congratulate the new members of the Police Service Commission and at the same time commend the quality of the candidates that have been nominees that are brought forward by Mr. President. It gives us also a lot of hope and encouragement that all our efforts to see that this critical aspect of our security architecture, the necessary reform, will begin with this process. We wish all the members the best of luck. They have a lot of expectations from Nigerians before this nomination, and that is why we ensure that we fast-track the nomination. A lot of people are expecting, with their experience, the capacity of the people who are now in the Service Commission, will support the police to carry out the necessary reform that's required, particularly in ensuring that we drive a merit-orientated police force, performance-driven, that will motivate all the necessary members to do the right thing in providing security.
It will be recalled that President Muhammadu Buhari had on May 25, 2018, written to the Senate seeking for the confirmation of former Inspector General of Police Muslim Smith as the chairman of the Police Service Commission and other member of the PSC. In a related development, President Muhammadu Buhari wrote to the Senate seeking confirmation of a former legal advisor to the ruling All Progressive Congress, Muiz Banire, as the chairman of the governing board of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON. The president also sought the confirmation of the chairman and 12 commissioners of the Federal Civil Service Commission. Buhari's requests on Banire and others were contained in letters read by the Senate President Bukola Saraki.
Dear distinguished Senate President, Constitution of the Governing Board of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, in compliance with Section 10(1) of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON Act 2010, it is my pleasure to forward for confirmation by the Senate the name of Mr. Banire Muiz Adeyemi, PhD San, as chairman of the Governing Board of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. His CV is hereby attached. It is my hope that the distinguished Senate will consider and confirm the nominee in the usual expeditious manner. Please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest consideration, Muhammadu Buhari.
From National Assembly Complex, Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
State government has released 7.5 million cash reward for the state's coaches and athletes who participated in 2018 Commonwealth Games held in Australia. Governor Obaseki made this known when he met with the coaches and athletes in Edo State House, Benin City. The governor pledges his continued support to empower and promote sport in the state through investment in sport infrastructures and support for the coaches and athletics. In addition, he said that Edo team would leverage the state government's support to succeed in 2018 National Sport Festival scheduled to hold in Abuja this year.